Bum. Participants, here we go. I think I got it. I think I got it. There we go. Good morning. You know, my usual, sorry, Fridays. My usual making sure the computer is all set. Okay, I think I'm good. I think I'm good. All right. So as always, make sure you're comfortable on your mat. If you need a little extra padding, grab or either put your mat on a rug, grab a blanket or a towel. It's gonna be one of those mornings, isn't it, where the words are just not gonna come. I think my poor mind knows it's my daughter's last day of school, and we did. Oh my gosh, we got through this homeschooling stuff. Oh, I apologized so much to her over and over, going, I am not a school teacher for a reason. But I think I'm as relieved and already on break as much as she is. My brain is good. But yeah, make sure your mat is comfortable for like the harder spots, your knees and your low back. If you want, you can always have a prop handy, a block, a ball, a fitness circle. I kind of fly by the seat of my pants. I don't always know if we're going to use props or not, but if you want one, you always can have one. The other thing is if your neck is sore or tired or achy at all, grab a bed pillow, and so you can put it behind your head when we lay on our back. But here, hang on one more minute for me. We'll get one more adjustment. That's a huge, okay. I'm just gonna go with it. Normally I wear a watch when I teach, and I forgot my watch. But I'm just gonna fly by the seat of my pants. You're gonna see me looking at my phone now every once in a while now. But I'd like to give people just a few more minutes before we start up. So if you want to start warming your spine at all, warming joints, go right ahead. I don't always sit still that well. But little, what do I want to say? Those few words that I always do. When we practice Pilates, it's not about pushing as hard as you can. It's finding the coordination. It's finding ease. It's learning how to move your body with ease. Because unfortunately, as the years pass, you know, we get up, we're like, oh, that doesn't feel like it used to. And if we let gravity really compress our joints, that starts to create the wear and tear. But if we're able to find the strength in our muscles and our joints to kind of traction them and create that little bit of space, that reduces the wear and tear. So that bring that mentality, that idea into all of these movements, all of these exercises, is it's not to push hard. We don't want to feel like we're like bearing down and getting into those joints. We want to feel like we're making space, that we're creating ease, because then it truly is ease in the joints. It's ease on the ligaments. All those things that we want to wear with us for a while. So again, you'll hear me cue this during our exercises, is don't feel the need to push on those reps. If you want to rest for a few and then join back in. That's the other challenge of Pilates, is not to keep pushing. It's to rest and then come back in. So we train the proper muscles, how to move with ease. That being said, let's go ahead and start to warm up that spine. So any comfortable seated position, you don't have to sit cross-legged. You can lengthen one leg out, or you can switch sides as needed, depending on how those hamstrings feel or how your low back is. Let's just come into a comfortable position, hands to the sides, and start coming up and over. I want to open all of this, and we want to start to create a stretch deeper down near the waistband, like you're sliding like you want to untuck your shirt and you pull. And you're going to do this at your own pace from side to side. I know I move slow, and so it is okay to go faster than me. But we want to think of creating space in that spine. So not to round down, but open that, get long, and then as you come up with a little bit of strength, right through the middle of you, right from the belly to the heart, to the crown of the head. Oh, and I forgot to introduce myself. I am Michele. Good morning. Hi, Mrs. Pilates. Oh, on Friday. My poor brain. And coming up. So keep going. Create some ease. A little bit of strength, but ease. When you come up, ease. Try not to feel like you have to go so deep that it's hard to get up. That it just kind of undoes itself. And we want to start to warm the shoulder sockets. So you don't have to press hard. You don't have to create any clicking or popping or any, that kind of things. Ease, ease, ease. Wouldn't it be nice if our body moved with ease? What would that be like for one whole day? To be able to move and just, it feels okay. So that's what I want us to practice, is this side bending with some ease going in and ease coming out. Because what you practice at, you get better. And that was Joseph Pilates' whole mentality of when he designed this curriculum. Because we don't have to do a ton of hard reps. You don't have to beat yourself up. You don't have to sweat hard. It doesn't have to hurt. Let's do just one more on each direction. And hopefully you can feel a difference once we get a little blood and warmth through the muscles. Let's come to center. I want to get the hips warmed up. So step the hands back, feet come forward and a little bit wide. Let me turn this way so you can make me a little better. And we're just going to windshield wiper the knees. And I know we see the knees, but remember, it's for the hips up here. And this tends to be very gentle, but it's very, very effective of getting some motion through that hip socket and getting some blood flow through there. We don't always swing the femur bones or swivel them like this. We tend to just walk and the bones swing just back and forth. So this is a great way to get some other movement, some rotation in those deeper muscles and really warm up those hip joints. So just a few more of these. And then we're going to come over to hands and knees. So let's give the hands a little bit of attention. So fan your fingers wide, walk the weight from hand to hand, and feel that pressure go through the hand, like down to the fingertips. So it doesn't just stop right back here. It kind of goes in down to the fingertips. You know how the roots grow down into the earth? That's what we want to kind of get that mentality, is that it goes through the hands, through all the knuckles of the fingers. And seeing if you can feel those weaker fingers, those ones we tend to leave out, like our ring finger and our pinky finger. So feel for that. Make sure that's feeling good on the wrists. If every once in a while those wrists get a little jammed up and it's not comfortable putting weight through them. If that ever happens, you can shake out wrists, you can circle them, you can stretch, or you can sit and also do it. Oh, we need to do this one. Put the back of the hand on the mat, ease in a little movement there. You can always rock back and forth. And again, switch from side to side at your own pace. These muscles in our forearms are not very thick. They're not very big, but these muscles work every day. So we like to give them a little TLC. Once your wrists are feeling a little warmer, we're going to get into some cats and cows. So your hands are going to go right under your shoulders. So it feels like your fingernails are under your chin and your knees are a comfortable distance apart. We're going to start to roll that spine up towards the sky and dropping it down. Now again, can you kind of flow, create some ease as we move in the back and the ribs. And remember, the ribs wrap from front to back. So can you feel this movement all through that rib cage? Okay. The head goes along for the ride. Yes, you can look a little bit forward and dropping the head. But try not to have that the first thing that you're focusing on, that we feel more around the shoulder blades, the ribs, the spine, the belly. And just start to breathe. Now there's a Pilates breath that really incorporates our abs. And that's when we blow out, like blowing out a little birthday candle. So when you round up, if you want to blow that out, You might feel those deeper abs cinching in around your rib cage. You want to start to warm them up. I want to get the spine moving a little bit more. So relax to center and take a step back with your knees. Hands stay open wide. Collarbones come up. Hips start to slowly drop. And let your back traction. You can hold still. You can rock a little bit. But also let those muscles and that skin around the lower part of your rib cage start to open up and get a little longer and stretch out too. When you are ready, turn your toes under. Bend the elbows a bit. We're going all the way back into a child's pose. Take a breath or two here, and then you're coming forward. Letting the collarbones lift, hips drop. You can hang here. You're going to move between these two poses to warm up that low back and spine. So a little faster or go slower than me, that is fine. But can you feel this mainly in your torso? So, you know, the rib cage, the shoulder blades, the belly, the back, not so much the nose or the chin or what we can see, but warming that torso, those deeper muscles around your rib cage and your shoulder blade, around your shoulder blades and back. So start to feel for that warmth and a little ease in your movement. Remember, you don't have to push really hard. Just gonna pump some blood through there. And if there's a stubborn spot that just doesn't seem to want to warm up, that just seems to want to hang in there, don't try not to fight it. You know, maybe gently work around it, but try not to start to play tug of war or go to battle with it. A lot of times, on their own, they'll start to warm up and release. Let's hold our child's pose here. You're going to scoot your elbows and hands a little bit wide from each other and pull your elbows back so your full forearm here is touching the neck. Press your elbows down, fan your fingers wide, press them down. The forehead relaxes, the neck is soft. But everything from the elbows, forearms, wrists, palms, hands, fingers, fingertips are all pressing down. Hold that light pressure on a scale of 1 to 10. Give me a press of a 3. Now continue to breathe as these muscles around your shoulder blades, your arms, your shoulder sockets, gently hold that contraction. One more breath. And then we're coming up hands and knees. We're going back into hands and knees and those cats and cows, just a few more. And then I want to get that diaphragm, those deeper breathing muscles really warmed up as well. So start to inhale as you drop your belly. Exhale, blow out as you round up. Inhale to drop your belly. Exhale to round up. A few more like this. Seeing if you can feel how that contraction gets a little deeper with your breath out. One more time, you're going to drop your belly and breathe in. As you exhale and round up, hold here. Hold this rounded up. You can adjust hands, you can adjust the knees if you want to, but try to feel that squeeze around the bottom of your rib cage. We're going to keep the arched up spine, but you're going to take a nice breath in. Relax the belly a little bit. Exhale, fire the abs again, up and in. 2 more breaths. One more time. Now we're going to up the ante for that diaphragm. Scoot your knees a little bit wide. The hips come back towards the knees, but we're going to keep this rounded position of your spine. Sitting back. Walking the arms just a little bit forward. Head hangs, but can we keep this lifted up and off because of those strong abs? 3 more breaths here. A soft release of the belly to breathe in. And then exhale to really fire again. And pull in on those abs. 2 more here. Last inhale. Last exhale. Slide those hands in. You're going to roll yourself upward, coming down onto our back. So let's twist the spine. Bring your feet and knees together. Arms scoot a little bit away from the side, and knees go side to side. This is like wringing out a sponge. Okay, this is gonna really help wiggle those vertebrae in your low back and get those muscles that get so stiff to warm up. There is a creaky spot in this room, and I have been finding it the last few times. So just give me a second. This is annoying me. I don't know if it comes through the audio. I'm still on it. All right, there we go. There we go. So think of it as wringing out a sponge, and you're wringing out all these deep muscles, all that musculature. If it feels good, hold. If it feels good to keep moving, keep moving. But just warm that up. Remember, you don't have to push hard. So while this is warming up down here, can we start to ease through the collarbones? I heard this cue, and it's kind of cheesy. Allow your collarbones to smile. But it really paints that picture of this open, relaxed collarbone area. A lot of times it gets pinched, and those collarbones in the neck get all squeezed and tight. So we want to feel that ease, even though we're swaying the legs side to side. Now, whichever direction your knees have fallen, stay. Squeeze the knees, pull up into that pelvic floor, and slowly pick up the knees with the strength of the inner thighs. You feel that in there, let it zipper through the pelvic floor and right up to the belly. And then use your inner thighs to slow the fall of the knees in the other direction. And then squeeze and lift. Nice and easy pace. But can you keep this on a little bit? Again, it's not the most intense contraction, but it's consistent. And that's what we want to start to find, is the gentle contractions, but they're on a lot, so they cancel out gravity a lot. So feel how these muscles can control the legs. It doesn't just have to pull hard on the low back. And the same thing when we lift. And then again, can we keep these collarbones at ease here, that smile? Because you think of when we smile, you know, you relax into it. It's nice, it's good. Maybe one more each direction. You'd like to think I could count that high. Hopefully this low back is starting to feel a little warmer and a little more at ease. When we get into these deeper thigh muscles in the belly, it actually relaxes the spine. Take the feet a little bit wide. Oh, I'm sorry, take the legs long. There we go, arms over the head. Let's open this up here and just breathe. Feel space. Bring the arms down to the side. Now bring your heels together and gently press down. So we had the knees bent to find the inner thighs, but we can also feel a little of this strength with the legs long, connecting through the heels. So can you feel how that kind of gentle, it's not intense, but it kind of hugs in the belly and it pulls down through the pelvic floor to the inner thighs, to the inner knees, and then down to the heels. And you feel how that pulls you a little bit long. It pulls the weight out of the low back. If we relax the legs, you feel how that puddles a little bit here, and it doesn't hurt now. But you think of over years and years and years of letting this weight sink down into your ribs and into your spine in the back. Join the heels together again. Gently press up. Can you feel that little lift? It's like tightening a tightrope just a little bit, or a hammock. So there's just a little more support. All right. Bring a knee into your chest. Bring the other knee into your chest. Let's rock from side to side of the room. Can't you do a couple times? A few more breaths. Then we're going to transition all the way over onto our stomachs. So however you want to get there. Stacking the hands, resting the forehead on your hands. Just breathe. Check your low back. Hopefully it's feeling warmer and a little more at ease. Remember, take breaks whenever you need to. Tops of the feet are going to be flat. A light grounding through your toenails. Really starting to ground through your rib cage. So it's like pumping up that flat tire. We want to use those muscles in the belly. Hands stay relaxed, elbows stay wide. Gently lift your head, look a little bit forward, and feel that soft weight of your head. Can you feel it down into your belly? Using your abs, moving your head can even use your abs. Now slowly bring your forehead down. Nice and easy, tap the hands, and then lift up again. So keeping the belly strong as we lift the head, keeping the belly strong on the way down. You want to feel like you're making space in your low back, in the front of your quads, in the hip sockets. So it's like you have a long mermaid tail, heavy through your toenails. And I'm lifting and lowering my head, but I'm able to stay really strong in that belly. Do this one more time at your own pace and feeling how just lifting the head can turn on that core. You're going to rest your forehead on your hands. You're going to bend your knees. Scoot your knees wide towards the edge of the mat. Flex feet and pull the heels towards each other. You're going to give those heels a squeeze. Now this is going to contract the muscles all up that low back, right around that waistband. But we want to keep the ribs on too, so we don't let the ribs go. We keep the ribs on. We're going to squeeze the heels together and kind of push a little bit, just a little towards the sky, just to feel this hug. And then release it away. Squeeze the heels together, pull in, maybe the thought of a lift. And then a slow release down. So I'm not looking for how high you can pop up or anything. I want to, can you feel a graceful, continuous, fluid movement here? As you squeeze the heels, pull in that little bit of lift, strong ribs in the front. And then releasing it down. 2, maybe 3 more. My lovely counting skills are coming into play. Last one. You're going to bring the legs all the way down. Feet separate. Take the hands from under the head and they slide wide under the shoulders. You're going to turn your toes under. We're pushing the hands and knees back into some cats and cows. Smoothing that spine again. Feeling the ribs, the spine, the shoulder blades, that whole torso. Let's add the breath in. Exhale. Add the breath in. Exhale, round up. One more time. Inhale to drop the belly. Exhale to round up. Hold here. 3 more breaths here. Inhale, exhale. 2 more times. See how that breath can fire those deep, deep abs. Let's take this into a shell stretch. Scoot the knees a little bit wide. You're going to sit back, but don't let this release. So those forearms come down to support the head. Hangs. 3 more breaths. Pull up and into that rib cage. Exhale, number 2. Last one. Let's come back through hands and knees and onto our belly. All right. So we're trying to find the strong ab muscles when we're stretched out long, and then when we curl in tight, so we can find strong abs no matter what position we can get ourselves into. You're going to stack your hands. Your forehead rests on your hands again. Those feet scoot a little bit wide. Toenails are down. Take a breath, and you're going to float your head. Pause here. Find the strength in your ribs. Okay, so that front of the rib cage there. We're going to open the arms a little bit wide. We're going to lift the hands and drop the elbows. And we're going to start lifting up, kind of like Superman, and then pulling back in. So when we reach the arms out, this is going to bring more weight into your rib cage and even into your legs. Can you feel that? When you change directions, this is going to fire down the side of your lat, your rib cage. So we lengthen up just a little, and we stay strong right here. We pull it back, and we stay. A lot of times we'll see people dip and lift, and that's not quite what we're going for. We're going to see if these muscles can hold if the arms are here. Can your muscles hold if the arms are here? One thing I really want you to pay attention to is that your elbows aren't hiking. See this? That's going to turn on the neck muscles. We want to try to keep the fingers a little high. And this doesn't take a lot of movement. It may feel your elbows are only moving a couple inches. As long as you can feel this in your back, in your belly, in your legs, you're doing it right. You're doing it right. One more time. Bring the hands under the forehead. Forehead comes down. Just let your body melt. Slide the hands up a little bit. Turn that right cheek down to the mat. This is a deep twist to the neck. So just breathe, just exhale and let the twist happen. You don't have to make it any deeper. And then pick up your head and you bring that left cheekbone down to the mat. And let your neck twist in the other direction. Come back to center. All right. Hands are gonna sit up again like those goalposts. Get your ribs on nice and strong. And we're gonna bend in the knees. Remember that kind of frog position. We're gonna scoot the knees wide, heels together, toes pulled down. And we're gonna kind of alternate upper body, lower body. So keep the hands down, the forearms down. Excuse me. Squeeze the heels together. Pull in slightly. Can we get that low back strong? And this, we release. Now the legs are gonna stay. Arms lift. Little reach out, little reach, or little pull in. Arms down. Squeeze the heels. Pull that into the low back. With some control, release it down. Now let's get the upper back. Lift the arms. So you can take here. If you want to take it out just a couple inches, you can. And then bring the arms down. Let's use the low back, the legs. Squeeze the heels. Low back. Ribs still on. Down. Now lift the arms. Add as much as you think you need to keep the ease. Remember, you don't have to fight. You don't have to push hard. Let's add the legs. Lift. Or even not a lift, just to think of it. Arms float. Challenge that core. Challenge the core again. Bring it down. Now let's challenge that lower core, that low back. Squeeze the heels. One more time. Upper body. Bring those arms down. Let's bring in the lower body. Down. Let the legs come down. Hands come in and stack. Forehead rests on the hands. Let your body melt. Take a long breath in. After your exhale, turn your toes under. Lift your head and your hands go under your shoulders. Let's push hands and knees. Let's work our way back into a child's pose so you can let your ribs drop. But again, so take the arms and the elbows a little bit wide. Fingers fan out. Forehead drops. Press into fingertips, palms, wrists, entire forearms and elbows. Hold that little bit of pressure. Give me about a 3 on a scale of 1 to 10. 3 breaths. So we're going to challenge that contraction with your inhale. Through your exhale. Practice that for one more breath. One more time, we're coming back hands and knees. Not hands and knees, onto our belly. If your back is feeling good, I'd like to try that upper body and lower body together. Now I'm gonna bring you in real slow so you can add as much or as little as you want to. But let's start up with those cactus arms. We're gonna bend the knees, scooting them wide, heels together, toes pulled down. Remember how we alternated? Okay, so let's add the arms. Hold right here. Can you add the legs? Oh, can you bring the arms down? Can you bring the legs down? Let's try that again. Lifting in the arms, think of wide. See that in the ribs? Keep that strong in the front ribs. Now squeeze the heels together and just think up under the knees a little bit to add more weight. Now let's bring the upper body down. Let's bring the legs down. Let's try that one more time. Open collarbones. Think of that still smiling. Add in the legs. Squeeze the heels. Pull in. Feel that real strong right here. Let's bring the arms down. Let's bring the legs down. Can we lift both at the same time? So concentrate right here and in the front. That stays strong. Arms float, heels squeeze. And really controlled, things come down. Arms float, heels squeeze. And everything comes down. 2 more. Arms float and heels squeeze. Can you feel that strong in the front ribs? Keep that strong as we set everything down. One more time. And stack the hands. Forehead rests on the hands. Long breath in and out. We're going to turn the head again. This time, turn the left cheekbone down first. So scoot the hands towards the top of your mat and allow that gentle weight of the head to be enough to twist. Let's switch sides. So gently lift. Feel that right cheekbone, right ear, and the weight of the body. That's enough. Turn your toes under. Let's slide those hands back. We're going to push hands and knees. Quick child's pose. From here, we're going to walk the hands to the left side of the mat. Press down into this right hand and hold for a breath or two, opening up those right ribs. Hands walk to center. This time over to the right a little bit. Fan open this left hand. Press down, open those ribs. Breath in. Breath out. One more of your breath cycles. Let's come to center and they walk on in, come around to seated. So we're gonna have the feet in front. You know those are ankles. Those ankles are in line with your knees. Your feet, your toes, your ankles. It's very easy to let the knees drop out a little wide and those feet sit really close. But you see how they're not completely lined up. We really want to work on refining that alignment. And a lot of that happens in your heels. So watch that those heels don't, you see that little bit? So watch to keep those heels scooted slightly wide. Tuck your hands under your knee pits and sit right up on your sit bones for you. I'm going to lift my arms, so we want to get right in here again. Remember, those muscles go inside your rib cage. So you're going to take a breath and you're going to squeeze your seat for you. We're going to start to roll back and see if we can feel this right in the rib cage. Try not to pull it up to the shoulder. It stays down here. From here, think of rolling in and squeeze your seat at the same time. Bring this forward. Roll it back. So can we keep this all on with the seat coming into the abs as we roll forwards and we roll back? Normally, I will bring you out of this and we'll sit up tall, but I'm trying to keep these muscles on. So hamstrings back here to keep your toes on, keep your glutes on, squeeze that tailbone under, ribs nice and tight here. Head is rolled forward, but try not to go like you're pushing, through the head. It's all down in here. Can you change direction slow? Can you feel the squeeze inside to pull up? Stop and hold. Can you feel the muscles inside to change the direction? We're going to do one more at your own pace. So last time we're going to roll this back. Bring it all the way up. This time you can sit up. Let the soles of the feet come together, the knees drop wide. And this is just to release. You can stretch down as much as it feels good, but don't feel the need to go really, really deep. Just a few easy breaths, releasing in the hips, releasing in the back. So that idea that we can really tighten these muscles right on the rib cage and pull that, give ourselves some support, that we're not just collapsing down, it's actually strong. Let's take the legs long. We're going to flex those toes a little bit. Hands are on the thighs. We're going to start to slide down. Now, a lot of times, again, we kind of sink in and just kind of collapse under the weight of gravity. But can we be strong right here? And roll down like there's an imaginary shelf, and you're going to tuck your head underneath it. Underneath the shelf, now with your belly, pull yourself back. Keep your head way, way down so you don't bonk it on that imaginary board there. And then up. So from here, and then sliding that forwards, and then pulling that back. So your hands are sliding up and down the legs, but can we not use the hands? Can it be from here? This is very different. This took me a long time to really get, to feel like I had it. Because I was so used to just letting gravity plop me down. So hopefully you guys are getting this quick and starting to feel how these muscles can slow the rate of how you roll under and how it pulls up. Let's do a few twists here. So come in either cross-legged, or you can come long legs, whichever you prefer. Fingertip to fingertip, sitting back into your sits bones. So really quick showing you from the side. We're not sitting down. We're right into those sits bones. And twist left, come to center, and right. Come to center. So think of your belly button muscles right in here, grabbing into your ribs. When you twist left, hold. Let it be just a couple inches now. Hold. And can you feel that contraction starting to grow? And kind of, you can feel that tightening on those ribs. Now very slowly come back center. Now try to pull it in on the right side. It's not to the elbow. It's down on those ribs. You only have to move a couple inches and come into center. Let's try that again to the left. And then just hold there. Let that squeeze kind of develop around those lower ribs. Come to center. And then think of the right side. And then just hold that for about 3 seconds. And then controlled release. One more time, each side. That twist, hold. Controlled release. And to the right. Hold that, hold that, hold that. Let it get a little stronger. Coming to center. Okay, now down onto our back. Remembering imprints. Remember how we start with the rib cage here. It sinks, and that tucks the hips under, and then we can release. Remember, this isn't for the booty. This is more for the ribs right now. It's again to find those muscles that'll pull those ribs flat. So if you would like, you can always put a hand on your lower rib cage and feel that pull down. I do tuck my tail under just a little, but I feel the strength here. I'm not just squeezing from my seat. I'm sinking from there. So see if you can find this laying down. We've done it laying on our stomachs. We just tried to do seated. Now we're going to see if we can find it here. It's kind of like pulling an umbrella shut. You can force the umbrella shut from the outside, but it's a lot more work. Like we can try to force our rib down from the outside, but truly there are muscles tucked up in there. Diaphragm is one of them. That will naturally pull those ribs down. That's why I exhale so much. You might hear that. You can try that. It really works. So now we're going to start to work with this because once this is strong and tight, these ribs can take a lot of body weight. Palms come down at the sides. One knee comes in, other knee comes in, heels together, knees go wide. Okay? So we're just going to lengthen out and drop in. And then lengthen, pulling the knees together a little bit and dropping in. Nice and easy, just pumping some blood, warming the legs. Now notice where the weight goes when you lengthen the legs and then let the knees bend. It can be easy to let the weight like drop in into your low back. Try to keep it down in the tailbone and right here, almost like a suspension bridge. The tailbone is very strong, the ribs are very strong. What's in the middle is not. That's why a lot of people herniate these discs in the low back or rebulge the discs in the low back. There's no ribs there. So we want to strengthen the muscles to help protect that. So practice a few more times here. Where does that body weight go? Can we keep it up higher, very low in the tailbone, but not in the middle? We should feel anything in the waistband area of our back. You're going to bend your knees, let your heels drop, arms come to the side. Now we can use a little momentum here. These are, for lack of a better word, called reverse crunches, but I'm going to give a little Pilates twist to them. So we can pull in. Can we catch? And roll down. Because you see people just pop these out, right? But that's a lot of bombardment on the low back. So we're going to see if we can pull in. Fish hook hard. Can you catch it? And down. Muscles that are going to help are your arms. Fan your hands wide. Use your fingertips, elbows, and right up into that back of that armpit. Now, if your neck is tight, you may notice your head wants to pop up. That is very common. Mine did for a long time before my neck started to let go. So this can be where a bed pillow is very beneficial. Can you catch? And then how slowly can you roll through that low back? Give the heels a little squeeze. Catch. Rolling down. Now, the hands, if they go a little wider, it depends on the length of the arms, but some people feel like they have more stability if they take those arms out like to a 45-degree angle. You can try that too, or nice and tight at the sides, anywhere in between. Let's try one more time. You don't roll it too high. Try to stay right in those lower ribs. We're going to pull the legs in, up, catch, give me catch, catch, catch. And roll that down. Bring the feet to the floor. Step them really wide, and we're going to sway the knees. This is going to start to open up. So let that stretch get in, down, up into the rib cage there. You can rotate this at your own pace. You may have one side that gets tighter than the other. All right, making that space, because I'm going to come in here again and want to really start to work these muscles down on the bottom of the ribs, pulling up and in. Anytime you need a stretch, also one that gets in there really nice, let's take our legs down, arms over the head. Anytime you need a little stretch in there, take it, okay? Because my little warning is, I'm just going to keep piling on. You can add as much or as little as you'd like. If it ever gets to be where it's more than you want, it's too much, just go back to one step down, okay? So what I like to play with is what's called rollover. And that's with the legs long, pressing into the arms, and you can pull this up and you catch. Now it's not quite like shoulder stand in yoga. You see how I'm sitting back a little bit? I'm back on my shoulder blades. And then using the arms, using the belly, I'm gonna fish hook really strong. How slow? Can we let these legs come down? They're heavy, aren't they? And this is where we can use a little momentum. They drop to about 45 degrees, and then they pull in, you roll up, you catch. Now, rather than trying to catch just in your arms, can you actually catch in your ribs here? Can you squeeze, even though we're upside down? These abs can still tighten. Let's challenge them a bit more. Can we roll that down? 45-degree angle. Breath rolling up. Can you catch? Hold that. Really try to find your belly, your ribs. And then roll it down as controlled as your body will allow. Let's bring the feet to the floor. Step the feet wide. Let's sway a few times. So that's feeling these ribs, these muscles working with the legs moving, okay? So whatever you want to do, you can pull the knees into chest here. You can take the legs long, arms down. Remember, roll backs, roll ups. Bring your knee into your chest. Coming on up. Now, this is the same idea, but we're working from the other end of the spine. So now the legs are down, but we're rolling from the rib cage. And I started on that. Remember, we were coming earlier and rolling here and up. Tuck under. Can we start to roll down? Can we really keep this strong? As we roll down. Coming up can be tough. You can use those arms. Scoop up and in, toes it up, and pull the knees towards each other, inner thighs, and let it get tough. I mean, if it slows down, that's okay. And pull slow, 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 slow. So we want to, I'm going to lift my elbows so you can see. But when you roll back, you want to try to feel it here first. Can you feel it here first? Squeeze that booty here. Squeeze, 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 squeeze to roll this down. I like a nice exhale because that will fire my ribs. You see how they're all lifted? I pull into my inner thighs and I let that roll up happen nice and slow. Then we know it's right in there. All the way up. Keep that booty in, squeeze it, roll it back. Use those inner thighs, so squeeze the knees a little towards each other, trying to keep the toes down. One more time, coming up. Good exhale. Think of inner thighs. It's belly, inner thighs, pelvic floor. Coming up. Relax over. Take some breaths here. Then you're going to lift your upper body and step your feet nice and wide. You're going to bring your elbows to the insides of the thighs and relax this down. Now, depending on how your hips and your body is feeling, you can come to the inside here. You could lengthen a little more. You can reach down. Depends on what your body wants to do this morning. One more breath. Roll this up. So what I would like to try to do is combine the roll up with the roll over. And then legs down and a roll up. And then a roll down, legs come up, roll over. So basically, I'm wondering if we can really move the body, but keep this on. Okay? So your roll downs can either be with long legs or bent knees. Okay, I'll give you lots of options here, but let's start with the roll back. Personally, I like roll backs with long legs. You can bend your knees if you want. Remember to start with those ribs. Pull that back. Squeeze the booty. Let's roll this down. Now, if you have your knees bent, once your upper body's on the floor, lengthen the legs. Arms come to the sides. Pick the legs up. Take your roll over. Catch. Find your ribs again. Roll this down. Now, you can either bend your knees and bring your feet to the floor here for your roll up, or you let your legs come to the floor. Arms come up. Breath in. Exhale. Inner thighs, pelvic floor, get right in there. We're going to roll this over. We're not going to sit up tall. We're going to roll over, stay strong. Squeeze your seat again, now reverse it. You can bend your knees here. Remember, you can do that. Rolling down as slow and controlled as your body will allow. Arms are going to come find the floor. We're going to lift the legs, send it overhead. Can we catch? Can you find that same area of your rib cage? Let's roll this down. And either knees bend here or legs go long to the floor. Arms lift, breath in. Exhale, ribs, squeeze that seat, inner thighs. Keep those ribs on, keep them on, keep them on. I know they want to shut off. Keep them on. Seat is still on, roll back. Tuck under, as best as you can. Your body's getting tired. It's okay to give it a little breath, little rest. If you want to bend your knees here, lifting in the legs, send it overhead to our roll over, catching those ribs. Ribs are on as we roll down. One more time. Legs come to the floor. Let's finish with the roll up. Legs strong, arms lift. Breath in, exhale. Inner thighs, let it join into the pelvic floor, right into those ribs. Keep the seat on, roll, roll, roll. Ab strong, ab strong, ab strong. And rolling on up. Nice. Bend the knees. And again, you can relax to the inside if you like that one, or you can bring soles of the feet together, knees dropping wide. Whew, take a breath or two or three. I check my time quick. Right about there. Okay. Let's come on, hands and knees. So your hands are fanned out right under your shoulders. You're going to turn your toes under and step your toes together so your big toes touch and your knees are touching. You're going to get strong right in your chest. Okay? You're going to pull your inner thighs nice and strong. Can you hover those knees right off the floor there? Just the tiniest bit. Chest is on, so you don't want to lock into the elbows. Bend the elbows and pull it into that chest. Inner thighs, hold and breathe. You don't have to make this super intense. Okay, you want to try to be able to keep your breath moving, but feel the strength in the legs, up in the belly, and then around the shoulder blades, kind of near that mid to upper back area. How that holds you and levitates you. Let's bring the knees down. Knees go wide, flatten the feet. Quick child's pose. Here, you can circle the wrists. And then pause and do wrist circles in the other direction. And then hands and knees. Let's try that one more time. So hands are right under your shoulder sockets. Your toes are turned under. Your knees are pulled in towards each other. And then pressing the floor away with the hands, pushing into the toes. Inner thighs are really strong. So rather than trying to lift with your hands, really use the inner thighs to squeeze and pull up. And then just hover. Breath. Let it get strong in the belly. Let it come up the sides of your ribs and hook in around the shoulder blades. And bring this down. One more time, quick child's pose with a few wrist circles. So those were the abs on with us kind of all bent up. I'm wondering if we can do this long. Now this can be done on forearms if your wrists are getting tired. But we're gonna go for that full plank. Now, my arms are a lot longer than the length of my feet. So when you get into a full plank, your head is always going to be a bit higher than your feet are. I mean, there's always that slight decline. So people will say, keep your hips up. Well, then they start kind of doing the downward dog thing. But it is a slight downward slope from your shoulders to your hips to your toes. That's because your arms are so long. Even if you go on forearms, it's the same thing. There's a slight down slope. Okay? Whether you are going to choose forearms or toes, or forearms or hands, can you get on the tippy tips of your toes? Not back in there, right on the tips of those toes, and pull this into your thighs, up higher, rather than sitting back here in the feet. I'm going to come up into my thighs. I want to get into my belly. Like I said, this can be up here. But can we get into the legs, into the belly? Just like we did when the knees were all bent there. Couple more breaths. And you're coming down. Now you can release those wrists, whatever feels good. Now the idea is that we can use the strength here, hold, and we can shift in our planks. Okay? Now it gets a little nitpicky where that momentum comes from. Remember, it's here and right back in here around these shoulder blades. It doesn't look like much. I shift forward, I shift back. I shift forward, and I don't let anything let go. I want to feel, it's almost like I'm moving from my abs, and then I pull back from my belly button, and I push forward from my belly button, and back. Now, if you want to try this on forearms, it's like your nose moves out just slightly, but it's not pushing into the shoulders, which I see a lot of people, they'll push into the shoulders. It's to be strong right here, but it's hard because we're pulled long. We're used to flexing those abs in, but those abs can be long and strong. That's what gives us a flat tummy, is that long and strong. So take your time changing directions rather than trying to like shoot forward and shoot back. Can we find that grace where we kind of glide forward and you pause and you glide back and you pause. And then you squeeze in the belly and you kind of pull the weight out of your hands and your toes and a little bit back. Just to making my heart rate go up and it's harder to talk. Can we try one more time? From the belly. Pause and then pull back from the belly. And knees come down. Quick child's pose. Circle your wrists. Let your face and neck relax. Bring this on up. I've got just a few minutes. I can't get my phone to tell me what time. Okay, yes, I got just a few more minutes. Okay, a few bridges. So lay on your back. Feet on the floor. I almost said knees on the floor. Feet on the floor. Hands a little bit wide. Now feel your toes. Okay, really feel down to the pads of the toes. And then feel that whole space between the toes and the heel. You want to use that entire space. Palms turned down, collarbones open. This is where you melt those ribs, you pick the hips up, and press your kneecaps away. Press your shin bones away. And let this be strong in the back of the thighs and really hooking into the knee pits. You can take a breath or two and then roll down. Try to keep your knee pits on. Okay, and knees squeezing a little bit towards each other so you can really feel the hamstrings and inner thighs working here. So we're going to roll up and down a few times. And rather than making this just a booty exercise, can you bring these hamstrings in too? So it's a low back, booty, hamstring. And can you feel it the entire time you're moving? So feet are like sunk into the floor, toes are grounded. Feel the shins want to press away. And that nice, what do I say? It's a group effort by the hamstrings, the glutes, and that low back. Now you can stay here with both feet on the floor. If you like, scoot your feet, that left foot in, right leg hovers. So you want to find a spot that's, it's not way in, it's a little bit up, but you don't want to put it way out there that it's more work. We want that knee bent and that hip flexor a little bit relaxed. Now your left foot, grip those toes. You're going to need your booty, your low back, and this hamstring. Push that left shin away. And then feel that left hamstring, inner thigh. Slowly return the hips to the floor. And down. So it's not just one muscle. Can you feel all three of those? We're going to do one more on this side. Feel all those muscles work to bring that hips down nice and easy. Right foot comes down and it steps a little bit midline. Left knee bends. Now feel your right toes, you got all that. Think of the hamstring, the hip, and the low back. Push that right shin away. And rolling down. Feel the hamstring grip in behind your right knee. All the muscles working there. How gently can we come down? And then, if it's possible, can we roll it up too rather than pop it up hard and fast? Can we slow that all down and really feel the deeper muscles have to work? Last one on this side. Bring it on down. Bring the left foot to the floor and let it slide long. Let's bring that right knee into the chest. We're going to rock a little bit side to side. Your left heel, let it be a little heavy. So it's not just hanging out, it's slightly active. So it's like we're making space right where the front pockets are in jeans. And then there's an ease in here. We don't want to be feeling like we're jamming up at all in this right hip. We just want to loosen that up. So keep this left leg on while we're moving the right one around. And that right leg comes to center, hands gently behind the thighs, a little lengthen up. And you're going to push that right heel up and the left heel down. And that right knee, try that again. Keep the left heel grounded, push that right heel up. And then bend. Now, if you want, as you hold, you could walk this up. But you don't want to, sink. You see how my shoulders all rose? You want to be right there. Let's try this on the other side. So we're going to roll down, bring the right foot to the floor, slide the leg down. Gently hold that left shin and rock a little bit. Find that right heel, find the heaviness there. So the right hip stays still. We're making space in that hip flexor. We're going to start to warm up and release this left side. We're going to bring the hands behind the knee. And again, lengthen that left heel gently towards the sky. Press the right heel down at the same time. And then a bend in the knee. Take a breath. So again, it's to feel a little, it's a little bit challenging, but it shouldn't be incredibly challenging. Don't take it to that level. And holding here. If you'd like, keep that right heel active, that right leg active. Pulling from the ribs. Get in. Make space. A lot of times we're getting tighter as we do this. Make space. Let's bend the left knee. Bring the foot down. Arm over the head, legs go long. Nice, easy stretch here. Bring a knee into your chest and rock yourself up. There you go. Thank you so much for being here today. Have a great weekend. The weather is gorgeous. Good luck to all you gardens. My husband gardens. I'm so glad. You'd never guess I've killed every plant anybody's ever given me. Take care. We'll see you later.